Hello you guys. Welcome back to another video. Hi, if you are new here, welcome. I'm glad you picked on this video. My name is Erin and I like to talk about all things that I'm interested here on my channel, including movies, makeup, and books. And so I've been doing that for over a year now, and I've been really enjoying it, slowly growing. If you're returning, thanks so much for coming back, being part of the family. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, whether you're returning or not. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you want to see more great content like this coming up for this video, then definitely hit the subscribe button down below. And by the end of this video, if you liked it, hit a thumbs up. So today we're going to be getting into the Squid Game, which is like the most popular talked about thing right now. I've been seeing it all over TikTok before I even watched it, but I sat down and watched it with my family, all of season 1 in 2 days, and so I have some thoughts and I wanted to come on and do my review for this. So I think I'm going to split this up though and do a non-spoiler review for people that are hesitant to get into it, just kind of giving you a little push and giving you my thoughts, and then a spoiler review for those of us that have seen it and want to talk spoilers, of course. So if you're interested to see the non-spoiler review, which is this one right here, then definitely just keep on watching. The Squid Game is a South Korean survival drama, suspense action type of TV show that is currently on Netflix, and it is, I believe, a Netflix original. And I do have some notes here, so I'm going to be looking at them. It is directed and written by Hwang Dong-hyuk, which I think I read somewhere that he's been holding on to this project for quite a long time, which is quite interesting. And it stars, and let me get through all these names, and excuse me if I pronounce any wrong, although I've been watching Korean dramas for 7-8 years now. Still, I'm not a native speaker and I don't speak the language, so I'm going to read this list because I do want to mention all of these actors because they did such a great job, and these are the main ones. So we have Lee Jung-jae, Park Hae-soo, Oh Hyung-sa, Oh Hyung-soo, I'm sorry, that's a U, Jung Ho-yeon, Hyo Sung-tae, Anupan Tripathi, Kim Joo-rung, Dok Sul, oh no, that's not one, Kim Joo-rung, and Wee Ha-jun. Sorry, I was reading one of the character names there. So those are like our main people that are starring in this, and they're playing the kind of the main characters, and we'll get into those as we get into the review. This non-spoiler review will be a bit shorter, but we'll get into some of the details. So this is a show about a large group actually, of people that have been kind of selected to play in this kind of survival type game for a prize. The only catch is that these survival games, which are all based on common or popular childhood games, and I believe most of them are either situated or common in South Korea, although some of them are very much universal games that are played all around the world. So there are some that are very much South Korean children games, and what they don't know though is that if they do not complete the game correctly, or they do not meet the task of the game, there are very grave consequences, and that includes losing your life. So it's a very interesting concept. It's not something completely wholly unique, but it is though, because we've seen things like the Hunger Games, we've seen things like Divergent in a sense, we've seen things like kind of like going into games and having to survive, similar to Alice in Borderland, which is a Japanese drama that I actually just started. I have not actually finished it, so I don't really know too much about that one, but similar concept. But I think what makes this one so unique is the drama within it, the emotions that it evokes, and just how brutal it is. But also, it's not just about the violence, it's about the human nature, the story behind all of that. So that's the basic premise of it. I'm starting to get all preachy already, but it's just, we're going to get into it. All right, let's get into the main things about the show that you might want to know. We're following mainly Song Ji-hun, and Ji-hun is a gambler. He's like not very much lived a fulfilling life for himself, and he's not very good with money, and so he has a daughter that he can't really see or support because he doesn't have any money himself. It doesn't really say if he has a job or not. I don't know if I paid attention good enough, but he doesn't really seem to have a lot going on, and he can't really be there for his daughter. And so he's also in a huge amount of debt. So we see that this gambling addiction has really taken a toll on his life. And this is all in episode 1, first couple minutes. And so what we're introduced to in the first episode is that all of the characters that are going to be introduced to this survival challenges are all in debt. And so that's the kind of premise and kind of setup that we're getting here. And so we're going to be following the main characters throughout their journey as they try to survive. And so we have like Song Ji-hyun, Cho Sung-woo, Oh Il-nam, a lot of different people within the game who are playing. All right, you guys, so I'm going to try to give you some details without being spoilery, but hopefully I don't give too much away. I'm not going to give any major details for sure, but we're following gi-hun, which is kind of our main character that we're following, although there are many other people within the show that we're following and that are in this competition that happens, the survival games. But gi-hun is kind of the main character, and he is someone that we were introduced very early on in the show, so this is definitely not very spoilery, but like in the first 15 minutes we're finding out that he doesn't really have his own money so much. He stays with his mom. He's a gambler, which staying with the mom is not very uncommon. I've watched a lot of Korean dramas. That's not like an uncommon thing at all, but we're seeing that he's kind of reliant upon her. And she's kind of elderly, you know what I'm saying? He gambles and he is in a huge amount of debt. He also has a young daughter that he doesn't really get to see or support because of his gambling addictions and other things that has caused him to kind of not have a real strong relationship or be able to, you know, have custody of his daughter assumed. But we can obviously tell from this. And so his ex-wife has the daughter, and he doesn't really get to play a huge part because of some of the choices that he has made. So that's kind of our setup. And so when we're going into this, especially if you've watched like trailers and things, you'll kind of know that already there's going to be a game and the consequences are very, very grave. And so he gets involved with this game, and they prey on specifically people that are in desperate need of money, because the prize money is 45.6 billion won. And we'll quickly find out throughout the game that it is being manipulated by different people. There's like these people in these tracksuits that are kind of like the workers and the soldiers and whatnot, but we also have the big honchos in charge. So we quickly see that this is someone's sick game that they've orchestrated. And so as we go through each episode, it's just the stakes get higher and higher and higher. And it really just keeps your heart pounding. And some of the characters, I'll have to say, let's go into some details about this that really make it worth your while and why you should really watch it. First off, I'll say the acting in this is superb. I was surprised to see that some of these people have not really acted in a lot of other things. Like this is their first time acting, and I was like so surprised. The acting is top notch. And I have to say, just speaking from experience of watching a lot of Korean dramas, usually the acting is pretty solid. I've not had many experiences where the acting is just super duper bad or offensive when you're watching. There have been some. I'm not saying that there are not, but I have to say their quality of Korean shows, whether that be from the acting, from the production, from the wardrobe, is usually very top notch, depending on obviously the drama, but they're just held a higher quality. And I have to say their stories in Korean dramas are usually really great. A lot of them focus on romance, but not always, and there's really such a wide variety of genres, which is why I feel like this is such a great opportunity now that this show has become so popular to introduce people to Korean dramas that have never been interested in them. Even my sister, who is a year younger than me, I've always asked her to watch dramas with me. I've kind of got my mom and my older sister and my sister that's 2 years younger than me to watch them, but she's never been interested. But when she sat down to watch this one, she was like, well, I might want to, watch some more Korean dramas. Can you suggest them for me? And I'm like, yay, we're getting somewhere. But my point is that I just love that intersection of seeing other cultures and looking at other media from different parts of the world. We're so connected now, and I think it's wonderful. All that to say, the show is very well done. The production, The cast, the acting, everything is really well done. The directing, I mean, it's just masterfully crafted in every episode, and I was not bored, not one time during the entire show. I will also note that on the topic of Korean dramas, this movie or TV show rather has an option for you to watch it dubbed. So if you're not used to listening to another language or the Korean language, you can watch it dubbed over in English. I don't prefer to listen to that because it doesn't match with the mouse talking, and it irks me, and I've become so used to listening to Korean shows and dramas and things that it doesn't, like, I'm so used to it. I'm so used to reading subtitles. I'll even watch all of my shows, English, Korean, whatever, with subtitles, Spanish, even though I speak Spanish. I just like watching with subtitles now. I'm so used to it. So for me, I prefer to watch it in the original language, and I think the experience is a little bit better. But yes, it's even dubbed in different languages. So it's so, easily accessible to everybody. All right, let's move on to kind of the heartfeltness of this story. It's not, and there's elements of it, lots of elements of it that are very, very violent, ultra violent, very, very violent. But I think that if you just focus on the violence only, you'll miss some key parts in here that are really good storytelling, heartwarming moments, but also moments of just basic human nature like betrayal and fear and survival instinct that is portrayed throughout the entire drama. And it's just a really good story. It's a really good story. Overall, it's a really good story. The plot is pretty solid as well, to the point where it has you wondering, like, what would I do in these situations? And oh my god, I'm just looking at my hair. It's really late at night, you guys. Sorry. But what I'm saying is that the story is very, very solid, and it's heartfelt. You're going to feel emotions during this. You're going to have those emotions evoked. And if you don't, I mean, obviously everybody's different, but for me, it definitely was. It's really, really good. Next, I will say that I really love the way the story progressed and the stakes got higher and higher, and you really start to connect with the characters as you're going through. And I will say the characters are very well written. The way it progresses is just a perfect build-up, and it's really awesomely done. As we're following all of these different characters, some that you're gonna just love and some you're going to absolutely hate, and some you're really rooting for example, this police officer that's kind of investigating the game, or the main character who you just like want to survive, to one of the main female protagonists, sae-byeok, I'm saying that so wrong probably, who, you kind of saw as kind of like devious at the beginning, but you slowly see that she's just doing this to survive, which is the majority of these players' situation. But you also see some of the evilness in it, and some of the just betrayal that occurs throughout it. Let me not say anything else because I don't want to give anything away. And lastly, I'll talk about like the ending. I think that this was wrapped up pretty well. I feel like there's definitely something more that could be coming. If they do a season 2, I think that would be perfect, because it doesn't feel completely like they wrapped up every single thing in season 1. And I think if we hear that season 2 has been, greenlit, it would not be a surprise to me. But I do kind of like where we ended off, and I would love to see it continue. I thought I don't want to spoil. I thought the like reveal at the end was quite interesting. It actually shocked me. It really did. Although not completely though, because there was a moment where I didn't. I'll tell you in the spoiler review if you want to see that. But the ending was really great. So there you go. I'm going to stop talking about it now and do my outro. All right, you guys, that was it for this non-spoiler review. I hope I kept this short. Probably not. I talk so much. But non-spoiler review for the Squid Game. If you've not seen it, definitely go check it out right now. It's only 9 episodes, and although the episodes are like an hour long or near that, you can finish it in a couple days. If you're like me, I love to binge, or you can finish it if you do one episode a day in about a week and a half. Really excellent. Definitely would recommend it. If I had to give this show a grade, I would definitely give it an A. Like seriously, an A. It was so entertaining And that's like the best compliment you can give something that's supposed to be entertaining. It was so entertaining. So solid A from me for sure. Check out the Squid Game. Alright, you guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this. And I will check you guys out in the next video very, very soon. Stay safe. Adios.